everyone, it's Amy and welcome back to another 30-day challenge. So this month for my 30-day challenge, I have decided to do 30 days of yoga. I've never been like a yogi master, if that's even what that's called. But I did used to do quite a bit of yoga. I used to like to go to yoga classes when I lived in the UK. Even when I lived in Kuwait, I used to do yoga at home. But for some reason, since I've moved to Bahrain, I've just gotten lazy. There's no excuse. I already know from my own personal experience that doing yoga regularly makes me feel so much happier, so much calmer. It helps me sleep at night. It makes me flexible. Like, seriously, I used to be so flexible because I was a cheerleader, I did yoga, I could like bend myself into a pretzel, it was no big deal. The other day once I was done at the gym, I tried to touch my toes. There are like 70-year-old men out there right now who are more flexible than I am. So these are all positive things that I know that I will gain if I reintroduce yoga back into my life. But what I've never done is do yoga consistently for a sustained period of time. I would usually do it like once a week, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, but never every day for 30 days. I felt like this was a good time to introduce the 30-day yoga challenge because I have been having some really bad back pain recently. It's an ongoing issue, it's something I've had for a long time, but for some reason, it's just getting worse and worse. So maybe yoga will fix it, maybe yoga will break my spine. Who knows? We're hoping for the best. So for the next 30 days, I'm going to do yoga every single day. And I'm going to be following a specific YouTube channel that I just personally really like. It's called Yoga with Adriene. I love Adriene. I say that as if I know her personally. I don't. But I love her. Her attitude is just so calming. It makes me so happy. I'm doing her 30-day challenge. I will link the exact one that I'm doing down below because she has a few. So I just chose one at random. And let's see if this has any dramatic improvement on my life. Is it gonna make me happier? Is it gonna make me more relaxed? Is it gonna help me to sleep? Because insomnia has been coming for me recently. Well, let's try it and find out. It didn't go according to plan. Let's just start with that. Okay guys, so the 30 days are up and I'm here to report back on what was, quite frankly, a failure. The reality is I didn't manage to do yoga every day for 30 days. This is the first challenge that I feel like was a complete and utter failure. I feel like such a failure right now. I could have tried harder. These yoga videos, some of them are like 15 minutes long, some of them are like 35 minutes long, and I was really enjoying them, but I found that a couple of evenings, because I was doing it in the evening, there is just no time in my morning for yoga. I already get up at like the crack of dawn. So I was doing it in the evening, and what was happening was if something was coming up, like if someone wanted to make plans to go out for dinner or whatever after work, I would think to myself, oh, okay, I'll just go home from work, get dressed, pop out, do the social thing, come home, and then do the yoga. And that never happened because by the time I got home after a full day, I didn't want to do 35 minutes of yoga, even though I knew it was good for me and even though I knew it would help me sleep better and it was very relaxing. I just didn't want to if I was tired. Also, I've been hitting the gym a lot more frequently recently, and I felt like that kind of interfered with the yoga as well, because if I'd had a really intense workout, I didn't then want to come back from the gym and do another workout. So on days where I was tired, on days where I was just not feeling it, I just didn't have the push to do it. And that's all on me, just being lazy, and I own up to that. I think altogether I managed to do 20 or 21 days of yoga, and the reason I'm not really sure is because I did it in 2 halves. So I started and I got to day 12 consistently, so I did 12 days with no break. Then things started to get a little bit patchy. That's when I started going to the gym. That's when I started to gain more of a social life, I guess. And so I was missing days here and there, like not every day, but like a day here, a day there. And then I got to a point where I was like, oh, no, I need to just start all over again. So I went back to day 1 because that's just how my OCD works. It's like, no, go back to the beginning, try again. And I did go back to the beginning, I did try again, I did fail again. So I think the second time I got up to day 9 or 10. So yeah, I got about 20 days in over the space of the 30 days, which isn't bad, but obviously isn't a complete success. I can talk about what I've learned from the sketchy amount of yoga that I did do, and the first thing I want to talk about is how it improved my back pain, because that was like number one, the biggest issue that I was having. So like I said, my back had gotten really bad prior to me starting the Yoga with Adriene challenge, and the first day that I did the yoga, I couldn't get off the floor for about 15 minutes. Like something did something, and I was doing like a twist, and I was in that twist for a prolonged period of time, and I felt like I was gonna have to go to the hospital. It was really dramatic. I felt like life was over and that was it. But the next day I persevered, I went back, I was very, very gentle with myself. I really eased my way into it after, you know, the drama of the night before. And I did start to notice by about day 4, like really early on, that my back was feeling a lot better. I was walking to work in the morning and I didn't have pain, because prior to this I had pain pretty much constantly. And now I just like catch myself every now and then and it hurts, but for the most part it feels the best that it's felt in a long time. As for like the mindfulness aspect, dealing with my insomnia and kind of just like my crazy brain of much anxiety, I feel like it did help with that, but it took a lot longer for me to notice the benefits in that sense, because my brain is such a loud, busy place. It's like Times Square on New Year's Eve. I found that for the first couple of days I was doing the yoga, but I was mentally somewhere else. Like, I'm a millennial, that's how I live my life. I can't do something and give it 100% attention. I want to have like 6 different things going on at once. And so it took a little while, maybe it took like a full week before I was doing the yoga and really enjoying it for what it was, and not thinking like, okay, let's get on to the next thing because I got things to do. And I do think that that was purely because I was doing it like in my bedroom, on my laptop. When I've gone to yoga classes, I find that it's a much more immersive experience and I'm like more in the moment because I've got nothing else to do. Whereas when I'm at home, I always feel like, okay, well, this is just one thing on a giant to-do list, and once I've done this, then immediately afterwards I'm doing this, 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 and this. And so I didn't really get the wind down or the de-stressfulness. That's not a word. I didn't get the chilled out zen feeling that I was hoping for. It definitely did help somewhat, but I think, you know, to really get the benefit of that, I would have needed to have maybe completed the 30 days. Overall, I will say that I'm going to continue doing yoga, and especially Yoga with Adriene, because let's just take a second to talk about that. Her videos are so accessible for beginners, but I find her just so down to earth. She's so easy to follow. Like, it's very much like, listen to your body. Don't like push yourself to do things that you can't do. So I am going to continue the yoga. Obviously not every day, because apparently I'm incapable of that, but it is something that I do want to incorporate more into my life, because it improved somewhat my crazy busy thoughts. It also really, really helped with my back, and it's just a nice thing to do. I feel like, you know, it helped me with my abs, it helped me with my core strength, it helped me with my flexibility, which was a big issue for me because I had none. And now I feel like I'm finally getting some of that flexibility back. So I am gonna keep it up. I wish I could say that it was more of a success, but I'm only human. I'm sorry. So that's it for today's 30-day challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead, leave me a comment if you have any ideas of 30-day challenges that you'd like to see in the future. But until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so, so much, and I will see you all soon. Bye.